Aloha. Welcome to Yoga for Healthy Knees. Today we're going to focus on opening the lower back, stretching and strengthening the quadriceps, and opening up the hamstrings so that we have more freedom of movement in our whole lower body, including the ankles and the feet, and especially giving the knees the flexibility and mobility that we want them to have, as well as the strength and the prana-filled bounce. So much about the knees can give us more pep and more allure because this is how we connect with the earth and reach up toward the sky. So let's come back on our backs. Bring your feet up in front of you, bring your hands behind the thighs, and let's gently roll down one vertebrae at a time, feeling your whole spine resting into the earth and letting the two hips and the two shoulders be weighted into the ground. Let's walk the feet a little bit closer to the hips. Bring your hands down by the side. And inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, do a little pelvic tilt, lifting the tailbone, pressing the back of the waist into the earth. Inhale, let your hip points come forward toward the thighs. Exhale, hollow the belly and lengthen between the hips and the underarms, keeping those shoulder blades drawing together in the back. And then inhale, let's come into a little back bend. So we're lifting the spine gently off the ground, pressing the tops of the shoulder blades and the tailbone into the ground. And then let's gently release down. And if you have a sash, you may want to get it, or you can just, we'll start with the right leg. Let's bring that right leg up and reach the leg into the sky. And then we can take the strap and place it on the bottom of the foot, closer to the heel than the toes. And if you don't have a sash, you can just hold on to the fleshy part of your calf or your ankle. But if you have a strap, it's very nice because you can walk your hands up there, keeping the arms nice and long, and gently draw the foot back in toward the knee, back in toward the hip, and really ground and open that whole inner leg. So you feel more life force or prana moving from the hip to the foot and from the foot down to the hip. Keep pressing your left foot into the ground so we're not unweighting, but we're feeling equally balanced on left and right sides of the body, keeping both sides of the body aiming in toward the spine. So we inhale with Ujjayi Pranayama, ha sound on the back of the throat, and exhale, drawing those upper arm bones into the shoulder sockets and drawing the leg bones into the hip sockets. Spread the toes, be alive all the way from the top of the head to the tailbone, out to the fingers and the toes. And then gently let your sash off to the side. You can touch the toes, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. And press this quadricep away from your chest a little bit while you're pushing the leg against the hands, activating the muscles in the hip sockets. Your body really loves that kind of deep activation of the muscles. And then let's take some ankle rotations, just 3 to the left. We don't need very many, as long as we rotate completely and feel the full range of motion. And then we're going to do the same thing right in the hip socket, rotating the leg in and out, letting yourself enjoy the movement right there in the hip socket. And then when the toe and the knee are facing toward the outside, bend the knee and bring the ankle right there to the left thigh, pressing the ankle into the thigh. And then exhale, hollow the belly and lift this left knee up and bring your hands behind the thigh or to the shin. Flex both feet, inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, I love these little butterflies that are playing above me. Welcome to Hawaii. The wildlife is everywhere. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, draw your abdominals in. Bring that left knee in toward the nose. Keep the shoulders down. You don't want the shoulders coming up. You want them drawing down to the ground and really opening up this hip flexor area and the backs of both hips. Hollowing the belly inward. Good. And then inhale. Let's let the upper body come down. Release the leg, but keeping the legs together. Draw those legs over to the left side of the body. Extend the left arm away from the chest and extend your right knee away from the waist. And right at the waist, feel it twisting in two opposite motions so that you feel that spiraling quality that reminds us of the spiral that connects throughout nature as a deep pattern of growth and movement. And then inhale, let's lift the legs up and bring them over to the right. And extend this left arm away from your chest. Open up the waist area and stretch on both sides of the torso as you extend this left ear toward the ground, breathing into the openness of the neck. And inhale, let's lift the legs up and bring that left foot down. Extend the left foot up and then reach it down. And then let's get the sash again if you want. Like I said, you don't need one. It just may help you to feel more grounding in the hip socket. A lot of times we forget that our hips are so important in our movement, and by pressing the sash against the bottom of the foot, when you pull the arms, that presses the sash against the bottom of the foot, you can feel the amazing life force moving through the leg from the hip to the foot. Inhale, spread the toes on both feet. Exhale, press the back of the waist and the whole back body into the earth. Spread the feet. Inhale. And exhale, feeling the life force, prana, moving from the hip through the knee, through the ankle, through the foot, and into the toes. And then release your sash and press your hands against the thigh, or you press the thigh against the hand. So you have this two-way motion here, pressing against the leg and pressing the leg back against the hand. And then let's rotate the ankle 3 times to the right and 3 times to the left. Enjoying that deep movement. And then let's come into the left hip socket and rotate right and left several times there. And then once we're rotated out, bend the knee, bring it back on the thigh. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, draw this right knee in. Clasp the hands behind the thigh or on the top of the shin. Flex both feet. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, press your waist into the ground, and then lengthen from the tailbone to the crown of the head so much that that draws the tailbone and the head off of the ground. Inhale, and exhale, looking right through the legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine down and draw the lower body over to the right, extending the body in a nice spiraling motion. Once again, replicating the spiraling of the movement of water, the movement of cloud formations, the movement of the Milky Way. And you can use this right hand to press against the left knee while you're extending away from the left shoulder through the left hand. Inhale, massage the lower back as you bring the legs over to the left. And feel a deep stretch from the hips to the underarms, stretching through the intercostal muscles in the ribs. And then bring yourself back. Gently extend that left leg up and bring it down. And then if you have a block for the bridge, I'd like for you to take the block and put it between the ankles. And then roll back down so that we're ready for our bridge. but we're pressing the ankles into that block. And then walk the feet a little bit closer to the hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, press the ankles toward each other. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then gently lift your pelvis, lift your spine, and lift up into a bridge. Walk your thumbs toward each other so that there's a straight line of the arms parallel to the spine, and lift your pelvis up a little bit more. Relax the shoulders and lengthen from the head through the knees. Press the four corners of both feet in the ground. Reach your knees away from the ribs and tilt your tailbone up a little bit more so you get the maximum stretch on the front of the body. Firm the buttocks in a little bit and then gently roll down one vertebrae at a time. And rest a little bit. That's pretty intense, but it wakes up the whole back body, which is essential for having good hip, knee, and ankle mobility. So let's inhale, lengthen the spine, press the inner ankles together, press the four corners of the feet down, and then gently lift your tailbone, your thoracic spine, coming up through the chest area. Now squeeze the shoulder blades together. You may want to walk the underarms and the shoulder blades in. Press the arms against the ground and lift your pelvis a little bit more. Inhale, lengthen the spine, reach your knees away from the pelvis and lift the pelvis a little bit higher, firming the buttocks so that you feel the back body engaged and the front body is stretching. Using that reciprocal inhibition. When we're engaged and we are contracted in the back body, the front body releases because of that reciprocal action. And then gently roll down one vertebrae at a time. Excellent. Beautiful. And let's take the block and bring it around. Now press your feet in the ground and bring the block underneath your pelvis. Let's take a little rest here with an elevated, supported sacrum. Just let the body breathe. Let the shoulders open, let the hip sockets open. And let all the vertebrae along the spine be inspired by the breath, be cleansed and reclaimed by the prana, the feeling of peace and intelligence in the body. After you've been here a few moments, release the block. Bring your sacrum down, bring the knees into the chest. Make little circles with the knees one direction, little circles in the opposite direction. And gently bring your body over to the right and roll yourself back up, being very careful that the knees stay nice and open. And thank you for joining us for Yoga for Healthy Knees. Aloha. Aloha, this is Maria. Thank you for joining us. And if you've enjoyed this video, there's a way that you can feel even better than you do right now, and that's by sharing the good word with others so that they can learn about the power of evolutionary yoga flow. And while you're at it, make the comment and then subscribe so that when we come up with new videos, new online courses, we have one going now in soul medicine, other yoga classes, and short tutorials in movement medicine that you can use to help care for yourself in a deep and a healing way. Please subscribe and you'll be the first to know about those new programs. Also, you can go to www.mariamann.com and learn more about quantum creativity, about healing, about how we can heal ourselves, heal each other, and heal our glorious planet. So we really enjoyed you being here. Namaste.